ceramics inspired by the sea, juicing at the Juniper Tree Juice and Coffee Bar, a safe emergency department. My first look at rugby, the best in cancer care, CyberKnife, an agility workout, and more in today's episode of My Fitness RX. I'm Tanya Stroh, a certified personal trainer and healthy living expert. One thing I've learned is fitness isn't just exercise. Healthy living is more than working out and eating well. It's about balance. Don't force exercises that are boring. Don't eat food you don't like. Don't let fear hold you back. Life is about living on your terms. So we put it all together on your and my Fitness RX. Megan, this looks fascinating. You have to tell me how you get started creating a piece of artwork.
So whenever I make functional work, I usually start on the pottery wheel, and that's to make a symmetrical form. I just start by throwing the clay. I weigh out. My mugs are, 1.5 pounds, so it starts by wedging up the clay and centering the clay. Usually when I'm creating an artwork, whether it's sculptural, when I'm like creating barnacles to attach to a piece, it's like that same kind of repetitive pinch pot that I'm creating to attach, or the spikes to attach to a teapot or work of art. And so I think that we all can kind of find comfort in repeating a process. So I think as a teacher, I teach a lot of the same lessons, year after year. And so I find great comfort in that meditative process through the process of creating. So I was going to throw a mug. First, you have to center it. You kind of...
Looks like hard work.
Yes, yeah, it is. You have to use your muscles to really tell the clay to stay in the center. And so you use your hands are kind of parallel. Squeeze the clay upward and then push the clay back down so that it's fully in the center of the wheel so that it's not wobbling back and forth.
So you have a lot of underwater sea treasure themed pieces. How did you come up with that?
Well, it all started, I did a study abroad in Denmark, and the person that we stayed with, her husband was a fisherman, and so there was lots of seashells around and different fish-inspired things, and lots of water and stuff in Denmark. My professor in college was a wood fire professor, so we did a lot of like gas firings and wood firings, and so that's when you fuel the kiln with wood. It's like a huge outside kiln, and you load the pots in, and sometimes you put a glaze on them, but the wood ash builds up over time on the piece. When the wood ash melts, it like creates a glass and cascades down the side, making some of the glazes matte and some of the glazes glossy.
You actually use seashells and barnacles and different things from the sea in your pieces.
Yes. So when you wood fire, you actually use real shells and you put the vase on its side on shells. And so it creates a seashell like fossil on the side of the piece. And I'll take sea glass and I'll melt the sea glass on the other side of the piece so that it can melt down the side, just like the wood ash would over time. I love waterfalls and like drippy, watery glazes that kind of cascade down the side. I've learned over time that because they drip down the side, it'll fuse to the kiln shelf if the glaze runs down the side. It's so much a science and an art with clay because, there's different materials and in the glazes, like the flux or things that make the glaze run more or less, or to create a shine versus a matte finish. So it's a lot of testing. There's always an element of surprise. Like I'll get a piece out of the kiln that I really love and I'll try to make it again and I can't always, I get something else that I like, but it's something different. And so that's what I really like about ceramics, is that kind of chase for a different aesthetic, or like the surprise factor to it, a totally unique piece. So this is wood ash melting to create this glaze, and then this is the fire like licking the side of the pot and creating this orange, this flash of orange. And so because I love this aesthetic, that's what kind of led me to this process. After college, it's easier to have an electric kiln than to have a huge gas kiln or wood kiln. So I'll do that on occasion, with teams of people. But on the day-to-day in my studio, I fire with electric. and I'll melt glass. So I create these tripods, and then this lines up with the tripod, and so it'll sit on its side just like it would have done in a wood kiln. And I'll melt glass. I'll put wet glaze on here, and then while it's still wet, I'll set little glass pieces so that as the wet glaze dries, it'll hold onto the glass. And then in the kiln, the glass will melt and cascade down the sides of the piece to form these beads. You know, this is what I'm after and what I can't just plan. You know, I practice and try and
Right.
and get it, but like when I get one of these on the side or built up here, you know, this is like the aesthetic that I'm after, so that it looks like this is water. You know, you pulled this treasure from the beach.
Yes.
There's kind of this sandy colors, and if you look close, the crystals and the water with the blues.
These are amazing.
This is my tallest one, and the top comes off in sections. Like that's the piece that I was talking about, making in sections. You can tell that like somebody made this. The spiral in the bottom, the lines on the side, you can tell, you know, somebody took the time to make this piece, and that's what I enjoy.
Megan, thank you so much.
Sure.
My favorite juice at Juniper is the Motivate. You can obviously see how much I like it.
So Juniper Tree offers wellness shots on our menu, and wellness shots are good because it's a condensed juice and it just is an immediate absorption of minerals and vitamins into your bloodstream. So we do an immunity wellness shot, vitality, and we do a beauty shot. So today I'm going to show you a recipe for a vitality shot. The chilly cold weather is going to bring on the cold and flu season. We might feel run down, low energy. So the vitality shot is good for giving us energy, a boost. The vitality shot, we do about 5 or 6 chunks of pineapple. Pineapple is low in sugar and it's very good. It's high in vitamin C. Of course, we have ginger, which is always good. It's anti-inflammatory. And then we're going to add turmeric on the top. And turmeric is good for anti-inflammatory and boosting your immune system. Like I said, wellness shot is just a small, it's about 2.5 ounces for that quick boost in your system. Sprinkle a little turmeric on top. So it's a very strong taste, but it will definitely make you feel better.
We're coming right back after these words from our sponsors with Safe Emergency Care and Rugby.
Don't be afraid to seek emergency care when you feel it's necessary. Phoenixville Emergency Department is prepared to take care of you and keep you safe and healthy throughout your stay. Examples of when to come in include chest pain or stroke-like symptoms, also include shortness of breath, flu-like illnesses, injuries or traumas, or abdominal pain. Don't ever be afraid to seek emergency care.
Krista, how long has Alex been playing rugby?
So he just started in the spring. So he's very, very new to it, but he's been loving every minute.
What are your thoughts on it?
We love it. It's actually quickly become probably his favorite sport.
Really?
Yeah, he's loved the camaraderie. from a parent perspective, I love the fact that they're teaching good sportsmanship. And Justin's just really good about getting the team together, teaching teamwork, and getting all the kids involved and interacting with each other. And it's a brand new sport to him, so he's learning something new.
So rugby is popular and played often around the world, but not so much here in the U.S. So I'm really happy to have the opportunity to learn a little bit more from you two today.
Of course.
I'm a big football fan, so can we start by how it compares to American football?
Sure, it's absolutely one of the fastest growing sports here in the U.S., widely played across the country. There's, I think, over 1 million players just here in the U.S. alone. They're all registered and playing and growing.
That's fantastic.
It is. It is. Just here in Pennsylvania alone, I think we have 160,000 players that are registered to play rugby.
So what are the levels?
Sure, it goes all the way from flag rugby, which is our smallest youth program. It starts anywhere from kindergarten to first grade. I'm the director of youth rugby for Westchester Rugby Football Club. In our program, we have a 5th, 6th, and 7th grade program, all the way up to the high school program as well. So we have seniors that are graduating and going on and playing in college next.
Excellent. So then college, and then there's also adult leagues.
There is, yeah. In fact, one of our trainers here with Overachieve is actually a rugby player who played at Temple University, Navy, and he plays for a men's club right here in the Philadelphia region as well.
So what are some of the rules?
Great. So unlike football, the play doesn't end. So you don't have downs, you're not trying to compete for inches, you're getting the ball and you're trying to play 15 against 15 and move the ball down the field and score what's known as a try. In rugby, very similar to touchdown, but you physically touch the ball down in rugby on the other side of the line.
So from a physical standpoint, Vinny, what is the athleticism necessary?
So in comparison to football and rugby, the sport is very, very similar. There's only a few rules, of course, are different, but the objective is always the same: score a touchdown, score points, right? Mm-hmm. The body's a little bit different. Rugby is a little more brutal because there is no protection as far as gear goes, but even with football, there's still concerns as far as protection goes, and that's why you see in NFL now with safety precautions for other players as well. But athletics are athletics. The body moves how the body moves. Everything is fluid. Everything is solid. So in order for rugby players to get better, they have to work on certain footwork, certain strength and ability to be able to withstand and endure throughout the game, the contact throughout the game.
Sheldon, I'm really excited to get your perspective as a parent. Elias plays rugby and among other sports, but tell me about rugby.
You know what? It's our first experience with it, and it's awesome. I love the camaraderie with the team and the kids, and the game itself. It's fast. We're traditionally a football family. So the contact, we love the hitting. He loves the hitting. It's a lot of fun, and our first couple games, it's so exciting. I had no idea how much fun it was to watch and be a part of it. So it's pretty cool.
So would you recommend it for other football players?
Oh, absolutely. You know, one of the best things, it really teaches you how to use your body in space, and the tackling teaches you how to tackle safely, right? And they preach that in football, but this, where there's no pads or anything else like that, you got to be really careful. You know, the coaches he has done a great job, and I've seen his tackling skills translate from rugby to football, and it's been amazing.
Now, is it males and females that play? Do they play together, combined?
It is. So on the youth side, we do have combined programs that are both men and women that play. When you get older into the high school level, it does split out into male and female teams all the way through the collegiate level. In fact, there's a lot of universities around the country that give athletic scholarships for female athletes to come in and play in their rugby program as well.
That's
Westchester
wonderful.
University is one of those examples. Another major difference, though, between the sports is, as Vinny was mentioning, you don't have pads. And there's a lot of safety put in place.
Going to be one of my questions.
So unlike football, where I'm taught to, if you're running to my right shoulder, I'm taught to put my body across you to stop you exactly where you are in your tracks. In rugby, I'm designed to tackle with my shoulder, wrap, and take you to the ground. I can't just throw a shoulder into you and drop you to the ground. Even if I'm driving you out of bounds, there needs to be a full wrap.
Wrestling moves?
Some of our best athletes have come from the wrestling world because it's a lot of like a shoot like you see in wrestling, where you're designed to get low around the hips and drive the player down.
So now you're allowed to throw the ball in certain instances.
You can. You've been doing your research. So you can collect the ball. You can make a pass with it. You have the opportunity to kick it. If there's a defender coming in on you, you can kick it over them, next to them, and run onto it. So that's the nice thing about it is rugby does not stop. So again, unlike football, where if I get tackled, the play's over, rugby I get tackled, and my support is there to come basically protect me and protect the ball from the opponent, and then somebody named a scrum half will get the ball out and make a pass and continue to play. So there's a continuous part of it. But what I love about it, even at the youth program, we don't coach on the field during a game. We coach during practice, and the kids are taught what they're supposed to be doing during the game.
I was going to ask you the mental aspect of
Absolutely, yeah. So if I'm a ball carrier and I've collected the ball from one of my buddies on the field, and there's now a defender being presented in front of me, I can now make a decision of, do I want to pass this to somebody that's open next to me? Do I want to kick the ball over into space and have my player run onto it? Do I want to try to run through this person, around this person? So you're making decisions on the field. And we often say a lot of times rugby players make the best employees going forward because you've been taught to make these decisions of things that you're trained during the practice time.
Sense. One more quick question.
Sure.
Substitutions. How long do you play? Do you play the full game?
So fitness is big. Rugby, even at the youth level, we are designed not to have a lot of subs. When you put the cleats on and you go out there and you're a starting member of that team, we're not going to be subbing you during that game. So your fitness level needs to be high, and the higher up you go in programs, as soon as you come out of the game, your day's done. Or you may come out if you have a little bit of an injury or something you want to get looked at, you can come out for 2 minutes, but after those 2 minutes, if you're not back in, your day is over. So the field is 100 meters by 50 meters, and we use meters in rugby, and those players need to be able to run nonstop across that field.
That's a lot bigger than a football field.
It is a lot bigger. Yeah, it's a little bit longer and clearly a lot wider. So, and we need to adapt based on where we're playing. So we've gone out and won some big games in other parts of Pennsylvania, and we're playing on a small football field. So your team needs to adapt to that more narrow field versus what we play on in Westchester, which is a full regulation field, is the 100 by 50.
We'll be right back with Vinny, Jesse, and our rugby agility workout. So Vinny, I'm excited to see one of your workouts.
Yes, so today we're just going to, for the fitness workout for the week, we're just going to go over some ladder drills. So 3 things very, really important for all athletes, whether it's rugby, basketball, football, soccer, tennis, lacrosse, field hockey, whatever sport may be. Footwork is fundamental, okay? It's a foundation, all right? So we have to start. Everything starts from the ground up. All right, so first things first, we're going to go 2 in each with our right leg leading first, all right? Right leg leading first, 2 in each. Are we ready? Okay? Starting with our feet outside the ladders, all right? We're going to go 2-step rhythm now, okay? It's 4 total, but we want to count 2, okay? Because it is 2 steps in, Elias, 2 steps in, and then it will be 2 steps out. 2 steps in, 2 steps out, all right? All the way through, okay? This drill is called a lot of different things in a lot of different neighborhoods. I like to call it typewriter because it's almost like moving your fingers, all right? Feet should be moving fast and quick. Here we go. First time through, 20%. Go, 2 in, 2 out. Get those arms involved. Come on. Good. Nice and easy. 20%. Here we go. Go.
Makes sense.
So, 3 words I always say: rhythm, balance, coordination. So each time through the drills, you go through 3 times.
Okay.
20 seconds, find your rhythm. 40 to 60% to find your balance. 80 to 100 to be coordinated. Because a lot of times with new footwork and being coordinated in small spaces, a lot of times your body won't allow you to stay coordinated throughout the entire ladder. So with those process and that process within itself, you are able to grow at a more exponential rate.
That's a great point.
Yeah. Arms, come on, arms. Come on, take your time. Hey, your 20% is your 20%. Everybody's 20% will be different. Go. Your 20%, your 20%. Control your space, come on. Good, attaboy. Come on, come on, come on. Set.
We offer a lot of exciting technologies here at the Pottstown Cancer Center in the Radiation Oncology Department. We have access to the leading edge radiation therapy equipment and a linear accelerator with image-guided radiation therapy, with which we're able to treat all matters of cancer types. We also have an extraordinarily exciting piece of equipment called stereotactic radiosurgery using the CyberKnife stereotactic radiosurgical platform. This is a piece of technology that enables me as your radiation oncologist to deliver extremely high doses of radiation therapy to precisely defined volumes within the body and minimize treatment to the normal surrounding tissues. In this way, we're able to deliver treatments in a handful of fractions or treatments as opposed to weeks. We're also able to appreciate less in the way of side effects because of this. So higher doses, less side effects, and better control rates, and more convenience to the patient. All this is available to all the patients here in the Tri-County area in the convenience of their own backyard. CyberKnife is something that is not available anywhere within a 50-mile radius. So it's a very exciting piece of technology that we're happy to be able to offer to our patients here and to patients outside of our catchment.
Don't go away and exercise to work your abs when we come back. I love learning about new things, so special thanks to Jesse, Vinny, and the athletes from the Westchester Rugby Football Club. There's something about juicing up your creativities that makes you both happier and healthier, like Megan and her ceramics. Speaking of juicing, it was an amazing visit to the Juniper Tree Juice and Coffee Bar. I can't thank the docs from Phoenixville and Pottstown Hospitals enough. Fabulous access and insight into the challenges of our healthcare today. Till next time, here's your exercise of the week. It's a torso rotation. Thanks for the demo, Madeline. I'm your host, Tanya Stroh. Be fit, be healthy, be happy.